All right, what's going on, you guys? Nick here with Nick Strength and Power. So I've got a couple interesting stories for you guys today. The first thing I want to talk about here is the 2020 Arnold Classic in Columbus, Ohio. Now, the 2020 Arnold is going to be one of the most interesting Arnold Classics of all time because apparently both Shawn Rhoden and Big Ramy have verbally committed to competing in this show, which is going to be very interesting to see because these are probably the two biggest names aside from Phil Heath that everybody wanted to see compete at the Olympia, but did not get the opportunity to see compete at the Olympia. Big Ramy obviously did not qualify for the Olympia, and Shawn Rhoden obviously had the court case preventing him from competing at the Olympia. But basically, the cat is out of the bag now. Shawn Rhoden has publicly announced that he wants to do the Arnold Classic in March of 2020, and Big Ramy has announced publicly in an interview that he is going to do the Arnold Classic in March of 2020, which is going to be interesting because we've never seen Big Ramy do the Arnold Classic in Columbus, Ohio. Ramy has done, the other Arnolds all throughout the world. He's done a couple of those, but we've never seen him compete in Ohio, which begs the question, is Ramy going to be waiting until March to try to qualify for the 2020 Mr. Olympia? Because obviously Ramy didn't qualify for this year's Olympia because he didn't win a show, and obviously he didn't have enough points either. So is Big Ramy going to wait all the way until March to compete? We've seen these videos that he's been putting out where he's looking to be in pretty good shape, pretty good condition. Speculation that he might be competing in a show very, very soon. But now we have the possibility that Big Ramy might not attempt to qualify for the Olympia until the Arnold Classic, which would be an interesting decision on Big Ramy's part because all other placings, aside from first place at the Arnold Classic, do not qualify for the Olympia. Only the winner of the Arnold Classic qualifies for the Olympia. All the other placings, second through fifth, they just earn points towards the Olympia. So if he didn't win the Arnold Classic, he would have to continue competing and earning points or win a show in order to actually compete at the Olympia. So it could be a bit of a risky move on Big Ramy's part, waiting all the way until March to try to qualify, because he might run out of time. Because if I know he's planning on winning the Arnold Classic, but assuming it doesn't go that direction, because he is in fact competing against Shawn Rhoden, who is 2018 Mr. Olympia, probably could have been 2019 Mr. Olympia had he competed this year. Shawn actually put out a posing video, a full posing video, which is something we haven't seen from Shawn really at all, aside from the guest posings that he did very, very early on in his Olympia prep. So we have a good idea of what Shawn is looking like right now. At this point, obviously very far out from the Arnold Classic, and at this point, probably not competing in any other shows besides the Arnold Classic. And I think based on these posing videos that we're seeing from Shawn, he looks fantastic, and I think the ideal move for Shawn would be to kind of hold this condition and hold this shape and do like an extended prep into the March Arnold Classic and just have like an insane physique when he comes in and not have to do one of these 6-week, crash course dieting, where we see him do a guest posing and everyone says he's fat. If he held on to a conditioning like this early out from the Arnold and kind of coasted into his Arnold prep rather than, bulking up and just continued to stay lean leading up to his Arnold Classic prep, maybe that would be a better move for him. But in any case, based on the posing video that he posted, Shawn was in very, very good shape at the weekend of the Olympia, the week following the Olympia, where he could have competed at the Yamamoto Pro in Italy. And again, I think a lot of people need to keep in mind here, Shawn was only banned from competing at the Olympia. He was not banned from competing in the IFBB. So anybody that might question why is he allowed to compete, or why is he able to compete, or why is he saying he's going to compete in the Arnold Classic, that's because the Arnold Classic falls under the IFBB, not the ownership or the promoters of the Olympia. It's a completely separate thing. So Shawn has every right to compete there, as he has not been banned in any way, shape, or form from competing at the Arnold Classic in Ohio. Now, this is also assuming there are no new developments, no negative developments in Shawn's case before the Arnold Classic. We have about 6.5, 7 months until the Arnold Classic. So there could be some developments in his case, whether they be positive or negative developments. There could be some changes between now and the Arnold Classic, that might change whether or not they want Shawn to compete. But I think at this point, it's probably a pretty safe bet to say we're going to see Shawn compete at the Arnold Classic Ohio. In his interview that he did with me, he kind of talked about the reasoning why he wanted to compete at the Arnold Classic in Columbus, Ohio, how that was like the first title when he got into bodybuilding that he really wanted to win, and he was just never able to win it. And now he finally has this opportunity where, he doesn't have to prep for the Olympia, obviously, but he still wants to compete. The Arnold Classic is the next biggest show in town. So it presents a great opportunity for Shawn. It presents a great opportunity for the fans because obviously a lot of people go to the Arnold Classic. Probably just as many, if not more, go through Columbus during Arnold Classic weekend, then Olympia weekend in Vegas. I mean, the Arnold Classic Expo brings in what, like 500,000 people? I know I'm going to be there. I'm there every single year. So I'm looking forward to definitely having a lineup that includes Shawn, Rhoden, and Big Ramy. I think that's going to be certainly something that everybody wants to see. I think everybody missed seeing them compete at the Olympia this year. And I just want to throw out, a little random bit of speculation here. In addition to Shawn and Big Ramy, there's one other really big name bodybuilder that has never won the Arnold Classic in Columbus, Ohio. That's Phil Heath. Phil Heath has never won the Arnold, Ohio, but he did win 7 Mr. Olympias. Could we see Phil in this Arnold Classic lineup? Now, Phil has made no comment or no suggestion that he's going to be there. But this again presents a very competitive lineup. It's a title that Phil never won. It's a title that, you couldn't make the argument that Phil just walked in and easily won the Arnold Classic because Shawn and Ramy are going to be there. So it's not going to be a cakewalk for Phil if he showed up. But let me know in the comment sections below how you guys would like to see Shawn, Phil, and Ramy go head-to-head at the Arnold Classic in Columbus this year. That's what I think needs to happen. Now, also in the news, we had the Yamamoto Pro Cup this past weekend, but specifically what everybody is talking about regarding that Yamamoto Pro Cup is the fact that Roelly Winklaar looked phenomenal at this show. And then once the HD photos from this show came out, you really got a much better picture of how Roelly was looking at this show. Because in the video, I feel like the lighting made everybody look a lot better than the Olympia lighting. The lighting at this Yamamoto Pro was very, very good. It was like ideal lighting. And in the video, Roelly looked insane. In the pictures, he looked just as good. And Roelly even posted up a picture on his own Instagram page, hitting a front double bicep with a vacuum, where he looks tremendous. And many people were making the argument that this is Roelly Winklaar's best version ever. But honestly, I think he was improved from the Olympia. I think you could even say he was significantly improved from the Olympia. But I still think that Roelly's best showing ever was either the 2018 Olympia or the 2018 Arnold Classic Australia, which is really the first time that we saw Roelly really turn around his physique and have that vacuum pose and super small waist and crazy abdominal control. And he just looked phenomenal at that 2018 Arnold Classic Australia. And I'll give it to him here in the Yamamoto Pro Cup. He had an easy win here. He easily beat Nathan Diasha and everybody else in that lineup. It was 100% Roelly's show, which has a little bit to do with the fact that Roelly looks so good, but it has a lot more to do with that a lot of guys from the Olympia just didn't even bother showing up to give Roelly a higher caliber of competition. Now, Nathan's a good bodybuilder, but Roelly is a great bodybuilder. And then, of course, in that top 3, you had Lucas Osladil, who, compared to Roelly, is probably a tier 2 bodybuilder, and Roelly is one of the tier 1 guys. I mean, Roelly has premium genetics. He's a freak. He's a beast. A guy like Lucas Osladil isn't going to come close to Roelly in a lineup like this. Now, one last thing I want to touch on more in depth in this video was the 212 Mr. Olympia this year. I made a video talking about who won, but didn't really cover it really in depth at all. And the reason for that is because, honestly, I thought the 212 division this year it lacked excitement. And I think the guy that everybody was expecting to win, a.k.a. Derek Lunsford, it was more a matter of him losing this Olympia than him being beaten by someone else or someone dominant coming in and just destroying Derek. Now, Kamal El Gargni, who won the show, he looked phenomenal. Kamal was fantastic. His conditioning was very, very good. But I don't think he has the genetics or the physique of a guy like Derek Lunsford. Now, like I said, I think Derek lost this show. Kamal didn't so much beat him. I think Derek came in off. His conditioning wasn't as good as it should have been. He looked soft. He looked watery. But the structure that Derek has and the physique that Derek has and the potential, keyword potential. Now, obviously, I don't think the judges should reward somebody for having potential or who looks like they could be the best in the future. They're rewarding who should be the best that day on stage. And unfortunately, it wasn't Derek. Now, I think Derek, like I said, one day he's going to win the 212 Mr. Olympia. It's just a matter of time. I was just hoping that it was going to be this year, and I was kind of disappointed that he didn't because his conditioning was subpar, and he got beaten by a guy who, like I said, is a great bodybuilder, but I do think is an inferior bodybuilder to Derek. But overall, I still enjoyed the Mr. Olympia. You had 3 new champions in the men's divisions. In Classic, you had Chris Bumstead, who I think looked fantastic. You had Brandon Curry winning Men's Open, and obviously Kamal El Gargani winning the 212. So that wraps it up for the video today, guys. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Please give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. And as always, Nick Strength and Power, signing out.